Hi, Miseki here. So this is a Galaxy Note 10 Lite. It costs about 183,000 naira. Now, in order for Samsung to get this phone into the price bracket that it is sitting in, they had to, let go of a couple of features. And one of which has to do with the build. So instead of the glass build you have on the Note 10, you're getting a plastic build, which is basically plastic that looks like glass. Yeah. And while that is cool because it means that it wouldn't crack easily, but it also allows you let go of some features like the IP68 rating and the wireless charging feature that the Note 10 series is known for. But still on the build, and one of the things that has really affected me greatly about the Note 10 Lite is the size. Now, one of the reasons why I love the Note 10 is because it's really, really cute. I mean, it looks really small, plus you also get access to that Note features. But on the Note 10 Lite, you don't have a smaller version. And another thing you don't have access to is the curves. So the Note 10 Lite no longer comes with the curves on the Note 10, which makes it look like the A series, and it's actually not a bad look, especially because of the display. And guys, the display on any Samsung device is definitely going to be great, and the Note 10 Lite is no exception. It is Super AMOLED display, so you get access to that punchy and vibrant colors. But when you place it side by side with the Note 10, you definitely see a slight difference. For example, I feel that the colors on the Note 10 Lite are slightly darker than what you get on the Note 10, but overall the display on the Note 10 Lite is definitely good, guys. Like, I have no complaints here whatsoever. One thing, however, that might raise a couple of eyebrows is the processor. So the processor on this guy is a 2-year-old processor. It's the same one that was used on the S9, which it's not so bad if you think about it, because the S9 was a very good performance device at that time. And yeah, when it comes to Antutu benchmarks and all of that, you can definitely see the difference. But as far as real world usage is concerned, the differences are not major. Now, here's what I mean. So when I tried to play PUBG on both devices, I noticed that the settings were set to high on both devices, which is great. Multitasking was also really good on the Note 10 Lite. As a matter of fact, I don't think I noticed any lag during my time with the device, and I've used it for a couple of days before this video. But yeah, one major drawback with the performance has to do with the graphics. So if you look at both devices carefully, especially when you're playing game, you'd realize that the graphics on the Note 10 Lite is not as sharp as what you get on the Note 10, and that is one trade-off that you get for getting a device that is in that price bracket. And still on performance, another thing that Samsung had to let go of is with the UFS storage. So on the Note 10, you're getting a UFS 3.1 as opposed to the UFS 2.1 on the Note 10 Lite. Now, what that means is that the read and write speed on this guy is not as great on the Note 10. And I'm not expecting it to have the same features, because let's be honest, this costs about 180,000. I'm not sure about the price of this one. I think this is around 280,000. I'm not really sure, but I think that is really not a bad trade-off. Now, moving on to another thing that Samsung had to remove to get this phone to the price bracket that it is, and that has to do with the sensor, with the fingerprint sensor. Now, the Note 10 Lite houses an optical fingerprint sensor as opposed to the ultrasonic fingerprint on the Note 10. And if I had no access to the Note 10, I'll probably think that the Note 10 Lite has a very fast fingerprint sensor because it is quite fast. But when placed side by side, you then notice a couple of delay while unlocking the device. Like I said, if I didn't know about this guy, I'll definitely think this is fast. But yeah, moving on to the sound, and we no longer have the stereo speaker that the Note 10 is known for. But yeah, let me pit it against the Nokia 7.2 so that you can tell the difference between how all of these devices sound. Now, moving away from that to the charging test, and Samsung has included the fast charge feature on the Note 10 Lite, and what that means is that I was able to charge this guy in 1 hour 32 minutes, which is actually pretty cool. Now, during my time charging the device, I noticed that the Note 10 Lite can sometimes get warm, and even while you're using it extensively. So this is something to look out for if you're looking to get this device. But that aside, the Note 10 uses a 4500 mAh battery, which is an edge over the Note 10. The Note 10 comes with 30,005, and on the Note 10 I could barely get a day of heavy use, but on the Note 10 Lite I was able to get it to last throughout the day and even till the next morning. Now, as for the screen on time, I was able to get about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. But yeah, moving on to some of the things that some people care about, which is the camera. Now, the major differences between the cameras on these two guys is with the aperture and the ultra wide angle lens. And as far as all of that translates to real world usage, I think I'm using that time a lot in this video. But yeah, as far as all of that translates to that, I'd say that the Note 10 Lite does pretty well, and the results actually look similar to what you get on the Note 10. And guys, there are even some situations, like some lighting situations, that I think that the Note 10 Lite fares better than the Note 10. Now, one thing I noticed is that it doesn't fare so well in low light situations, especially the front camera. But overall, the results from the Note 10 Lite is actually flagship worthy. One thing that I did notice that the Note 10 Lite doesn't have is a couple of settings. So for example, if you go through the settings, you'd realize that the zoom in mic feature is missing, and also the live focus video. Now, I personally don't care for the zoom in mic because I hardly used it on the Note 10, but I really love the live focus video, and hopefully maybe Samsung can include this in future updates. But that aside, you get other features. For example, you get slow-mo video, you also get AR emoji, which I particularly love. Now, moving on to what makes the Note 10 the Note. And that has to do with the pen. And you get the S Pen on the Note 10 Lite, which is great. The only thing that is missing, once again, is gyroscope sensor. Now, remember how you probably used the S Pen on the Note 10 to swipe between camera modes? Yeah. Well, you can't do that on the Note 10 because it lacks the gyroscope sensor, but you can actually use it to take pictures, and Samsung has also included AR video on the Note 10 Lite. So guys, that is it. Now, when it comes to the price to performance ratio, I think that the Note 10 is sitting comfortably in a sweet spot. Now, I love the fact that Samsung has been able to downsize a couple of features that are not so groundbreaking, if you think about it, into something that is slightly affordable. Now, I don't know what you might think, but what I think about the Note 10 Lite is that it is a really great device. Good battery life, great display, good camera. But yeah, let me know what you think about the Note 10 Lite, and if you can live with all of the issues or the shortcomings that I mentioned, let me know in the comment box. With that said, I'm signing out, and I'll see you in my next video.